So I just watched Call of the Night Season 1, and I must admit, this anime alone was worth the watch, and I literally binge watched it within one day. And on top of everything else, the story in itself is so deep and emotional into such an extent that it kind of makes you think about day and night, and whether what makes a day fulfilling or what makes a day not fulfilling, and how that can affect someone else's sleep. Watching our two main characters go into a journey where they try their best to fall in love for each other, and seeing them towards the finale and find the meaning of why they fell in love with each other to begin with. And on top of everything, them learning how to love each other is a good and impactful tool that is used in the story. And how the vampires work and the mystery surrounding them and the amount of lore that is actually unknown to the vampires themselves, it just makes you think even more of the ton of implications and sort of hints they do throughout the story. And knowing how a vampire can turn one human into another vampire is such an interesting detail on its own, into such an extent that the only way a vampire can turn a human into a vampire, they need to fall in love, and that adds a whole lot of weight into the act on its own. That's mainly because the portrayal of vampires in most media, it's actually portrayed into such an extent that a vampire can freely turn humans into vampires. But how Call of the Night handles that one plot device on its own, it adds a whole lot more weight as to why the vampires are the way that they are, into such an extent that they cannot be casual with other humans because they also afraid to turn humans into vampires. And that is a huge sign as to the amount of emotions that is carried into the act on its own. And I kid you not, the animation in this anime is so good into such an extent that I'm always at an awe whenever I see the skybox in the world of Call of the Night.